One is integration of Beverage, and another is a Smart, which is a e-marketing platform. And both are very important and very powerful tools also. And Chris has done its job, but now it is basically field users who has to cooperate and come forward to make these applications successful. Now I request GM FYS Neeraj Verma sir to address the participants, and then that will be followed by the presentation. Sir, Neeraj sir.
Thank you, Ravi. And I welcome everybody. And good afternoon. Manoj Jakhori sir is also here with us, which is a pleasure. And the panelists who are here and experts from Chris Engineers are also here. I would request Raman to start the small slideshow which I have prepared for the occasion. This is that we are trying to move from the desktop and provide an alternative and a more convenient way in terms of access as well as easy availability of all the data that is available over FIS. In this, the Railsugam app is playing a critical part, and we are deliberately keeping everything through the Railsugam app so that it is easy to navigate through as well as the level of familiarity regarding navigation continues to go up. In future also, we shall continue to release a large number of enhancements and modifications, and we shall make it available only through the Railsugam app, whether further on it is through a login or it is through it is without. Next, please, Raman. As you saw in the first slide, the two things that we are going to focus on during today's presentation is one is the electronic in motion weighbridge and its integration with the TMS part of FOIS. This is a very essential part of the entire thing, and what I would like to emphasize to you is that the integration of TMS with the electronic in motion weighbridge is to be done as per clear instructions issued by the railway board. The railway board has clearly instructed that first of all, this is integration and exchange of data between the computer systems of the vendor and the FOIS shall not be over the internet. It shall be through the cabling network of FOIS, what is called the FOIS network. For that purpose, it is the divisional which is to provide connectivity. The S&T department of the division is to provide the FOIS connectivity. Once the connectivity is established and due testing is done regarding regular flow of data exchange between the computer system of the vendor and the FOIS terminal, whatever is the one which is located nearest to that place. Subsequent to that, the data exchange shall be done. For that purpose, terminals where goods loading is taking place needs to be mapped to with the electronic in motion weighbridge so that for the vendor, the visibility of all loading at all these terminals are immediately available to him, and he is also aware of the rakes which have got loaded but have not been this thing weighed at that specific weighbridge. Now, this exception reporting is also very important because if the weighbridge is not utilized to weigh the rake the moment it is loaded, then it will have to be weighed en route, and that leads to an avoidable detention. The second part is that once data exchange begins, and then there is a junior skills officers committee comprising of AME, ACM, and a finance officer who shall together certify that all the data that is being exchanged between the computer system of the vendor and the FOIS TMS screen, where the weight of each wagon is captured, that is correctly being exchanged, and that there is absolutely no possibility of tampering in the data which will flow back from the computer system of the vendor to the FOIS. This is a very critical part, that it has to be a tamper-proof flow of data, for which RDSO has approved specific designs which your divisional officers will see and ensure and certify. Subsequent to that, this joint certification will be passed on to the CM FM of the zone, who shall in turn certify it to the CO FOIS office. Here, Ravi is representing that office. And after due checks at their level, then it shall be passed on to the CRIS office for further locking in and making it a mandatory check. Part is very important because we have had a number of departments which have expressed dissatisfaction, including the vigilance department, which has been expressing unhappiness at the level of integration which has been going on. Railway board, even the top members have been issued actions, both by the minister's office as well as the members themselves have been writing letters to each of the general managers and the DRMs that has to be taken up on top priority. Subsequently, Manish will guide you through exactly how does the integration work, and how important and critical are the factors regarding integration. Manish will also tell you that the wagon number mismatch, which is a major concern which is raised by the field operatives very often, how it can be corrected, and if not corrected, then the sequence of wagons, how they can be adjusted so that the final RR which is issued maximum extent possible with the rake consist as well. Now I'll just come back to the original slide which is available here, and this is regarding the e-market place. And before that, I was just trying to introduce you to some of the recent enhancements that have taken place in the FOIS dashboard. Railway Board has been coming out with certain freight incentive schemes. This incentive scheme, its impact, and whether we are getting incremental traffic or whether it is the diverted traffic or whether we are getting additional new traffic because of these schemes, is something that can be easily deduced through the details which are available on your mobile through this dashboard. This dashboard is also available on your laptop as well as the desktop through the FOIS website. The first of the schemes was the round-trip traffic policy of charging at a lower class. This scheme has had a very good impact, and it is available for everybody to see how their own division is performing in this. In this context, I would also like to tell you that the next scheme was the long lead concession scheme, and even this one has been captured here. The scheme which was captured was the discount on fly ash bagged in open wagons, where a huge amount of discount was provided. The other scheme which is also available here is regarding the alternate terminal scheme. Now, the alternate terminal scheme is a struggle which all divisional officers have been coming up with throughout their career at the divisional level, both because of environmental factors as well as the fact that some of the terminals have become extremely congested, while the newly developed terminals around these terminals are underutilized. So the alternate terminal facility which is there and can be examined, and all the details are available as to what are the ones which have been bound in this and what are the levels of concessions that can be provided. Next. The short lead concession also has been put here. Other freight incentive schemes, these were the new schemes which we have immediately put on. But there are a large number of very important schemes which have heavy financial fallouts. That also will be coming out with in the dashboard very soon. One of the most important being, of course, the GPWIS scheme, as well as the LTTC scheme. because we also feel that data for both these schemes are something which the freight customers often come to the divisional officers and the zonal officers, and on the fly, this kind of information is required, as well as the kind of performance these people are doing. So we hope to enable you and provide you with this kind of view all the time on your mobile. Please. The feature that will be detailed by Raman subsequent to the electronic in-motion weighbridge presentation that will happen. I will only try to touch upon that from the railways and the user's perspective, what was the need for it? We have always felt that at all the goods terminals, what is happening is that there is a cartelization which may happen, both regarding the warehouse, the truckers which are available, the labor providers, as well as the person who shall be then aggregator in the case that somebody wants a single touch point. In the case of a new customer who wants to come and he wants to deliver it to some other state where his own levels of information may be very low, then he would typically be dependent on some local contact or on the goods supervisor, who shall then provide him the necessary information, which may not be complete or which may not provide him with the best competitive rates. So as part of the business development unit which is there available at each of the divisions as well as each of the zonal railways, we hope that the details that will be captured, and Raman will guide you through it and walk you through it very soon as to how the details are to be captured. Then anybody sitting anywhere in the country will be able to view all informations across all terminals in the Indian Railways. Now, this will essentially provide to all the new customers as well as the old customers who may not be happy with the level of services that are getting provided, either in terms of price or in terms of the kind of promptness of delivery that they are expecting. So we are hoping, but here the catch, and this is the most important part, that this system regarding the smart service market at rail terminals is going to be as good as the information that is captured by the goods supervisor in terms of all the facilities and providers which are available for that local goods terminal. Now, here the senior DCMs and the ACMs and the CMIs will play a very critical part and a key role in trying to get as many of these people who are genuine providers, and they may not be a railway provider simply because they feel that that place is already monopolized by the existing providers, or B, they may not be aware that somebody can get in touch with them. So this will provide an absolutely level playing ground to anybody across the country who may be wanting to provide his services. And we are hoping that very soon both competitive prices as well as competitive providers will be available to all the freight customers, both new and the old ones. As I said, Raman will walk you through all the details of it. That's the end of my presentation. At the end of it, I'll just repeat that the entire e-market place that we are hoping to come up with, both in terms of the kind of warehousing facility, and we have lots of ambitious plans as to the kind of facilities and the space that will be available in these warehouses. And in future, we hope to also have some sort of an EDI and an online system where the exact amount of space which is available in these warehouses are also captured and reflected through this e-market facility. So please tell all the good supervisors to reach out not only to the existing providers to key in their data, but also to all the new providers who are possibly there in the local market but have not come to the Indian Railways. And this responsibility at the divisional officers level, and we really hope to have a very, very good response. Thank you so much. And now I will hand over to Manish. He will just walk you through the electronic in-motion weighbridge and how we are to integrate it with TMS of FOIS. Thank you very much. And Manish, carry on.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for setting the screen, the floor for the webinar. And I welcome all and sir Kori sir, Neeraj sir, Amit sir, and everybody on this occasion of webinar. And I'll talk about the integration between voice and electronic in motion wavelet, which is a burning issue right now as after MT's DO orders. So I hope my presentation is visible to all. Fine. So I'll just, even though Neeraj sir has given a good introduction about why and how we are going to integrate and what are the shortfalls and how we have to overcome those shortfalls in the integration of wave bridges with voice, I'll just walk you through, not taking too much of time. So why do we need to integrate? The basic question that everybody feels that the things were working fine. Why do I need to integrate? Why do I need to have IT systems talk to each other? There was already a system, a well-established system. So what was the system earlier? We were weighing the rakes. We were taking out the printouts of that weighment sheet and faxing the weighment sheets to the loading location. So things work. Things do work over there also. And the goods clerk would just look into the weighment sheet, punch in the weights, prepare the RR, and give it to the customer. Pretty good. But integration helps us in a lot of ways. It solves a lot of my problems. There is a reduced chances of human error in the system. Now, my goods clerk do not have to worry about what they are typing. The weights would come directly from the Waybridge system into your application. You just need to verify and say, okay. So that is one of the benefits. Now, I am able to save a lot of manpower, time, and resource. And you look at it, it reduces the chances or the cases of undercharging or overcharging to the customer. So it's a win-win situation for railways as well as my customer. There is no need for manual entry of weights by the goods clerk, and we do away with a lot of faxing of the sheets from the weighbridge to the loading point. So that is why we had gone into it. Railways, RDSO, CRES, everybody has pitched in to their best to integrate the two systems. What is the RDSO mandate for weighbridge? So there are a lot of questions that I keep on hearing from a lot of people across the IR geography that weighbridge vendor is having an issue that he would charge me. He would say that I'm not ready to install without any charges. But let me bring it to this that as per the schedule of technical requirements laid down by RDSO, every weighbridge vendor has to have an integration with voice. So I'm just reproducing what is their 5.2 of their schedule of technical requirements of integrating or establishing an electronic in motion weighbridge. So you rest be assured that none of the weighbridge vendors can say that I will or I will not provide the voice functionality. They have to do as per the mandate of the RDSO. That's the guideline. So no need to worry about those. RDSO at the same time has given us a list of 5 or 8 approved vendors who, according to them, can supply the weighbridges in accordance with these guidelines. So this is again a reproduction of what Mr. A.K. Mishra, Director Wagon for RDSO has issued. So the 8 vendors are Rice Lake, SA Digital, Every, Merit BMH, Pragati, Schenk, and Waytrack. So any of these vendors providing you weighbridges in anywhere in the country need to adhere to our guidelines and have to be having a provision to integrate with the voice application. So all these have tested the application with our test bed and have been approved that their software works for the integration. So there should not be any issue with any of these vendors. The prerequisite or what every vendor complains that I am ready to supply the weighbridge software, but I don't get the ready site. So what do we need to do at the railway end? So we need to provide a voice network. Voice network has to be extended up to the weighbridge PCs. So the prerequisite is that the weighbridge PC, which earlier was a standalone PC, will now be a part of the voice net. A IP will be issued to that weighbridge PC from voice. So all the S&T departments of the concerned zones have to take care of it. From the nearest POP of voice, they have to extend the LAN and connect the weighbridge PC to their voice net. The weighbridge PCs should be installed with the latest weighbridge software, which has been certified as per RDSO guidance. So you need to ensure that the weighbridge, even though the PC has been installed, but the software version which has been installed by the weighbridge vendor is the latest and certified, and it is capable of integrating with voice. So that you have to ensure. The Weighbridge software should be able to seamlessly receive and send data to CRIS Voice Central Server on HTTP protocol. Again, I'm referring it as HTTP because I've seen many times I get a call that I'm able to ping onto the server. I'm able to reach the voice net. I'm able to reach the Voice Central Server, but I'm not able to connect or receive the rakes. And we found that they had not enabled the HTTP port. So please take care of these things, that HTTP port has to be enabled by the S&T department for communication between the Weighbridge PC and my central server. Once all these things are ready, then these concerned zones have to approach CEO Voice office with their readiness certificate for the issue of Weighbridge ID and access credentials for vendor. Here I want to mention the Weighbridge ID and the credentials are not same as what we issue for your RMS or TMS or web reports access. These credentials are given to the Weighbridge vendor. Their software has to talk to my server with a specific credentials and a Weighbridge ID. So we need to hand over these IDs to the individual vendors for every site. So please make sure that you approach us through CO Voice office in time so that then we can issue these IDs to the concerned vendors and they can configure their PCs or the Weighbridge. Just to give you an overview of what exactly happens, why or what is the methodology on which the whole architecture works. So once the rake reaches a weighbridge, which is on your left side as a weighbridge picture, once the rake reaches over there, and or it could be an originating or a loading point also. So the weighbridge software is supposed to reach out to the CRIS server or the voice server and pull the rakes which are valid or are applicable for weighment. So every rake which has either been released at the loading point or has reached or arrived at the en route station or a weighbridge point is a candidate for weighbridge. It should be a loaded rake, of course. Empty wouldn't, even though it would get weighed, but it would not fall into the purview of this whole integration work process. Once the rake is published to them and the rake is weighed physically, the weighbridge software would marry the weights and the rake consist and then push it to the central server. So you look at the point number 2, the data has to be pushed, that is the rake, wagon, and the weight details get pushed to my central server. And in no time, this central server would bring or make this wagon details and the weight details available at the forwarding location from where the RRs are to be generated. So this is a kind of a seamless and zero time loss data transfer from the weighbridge to any loading location and with the precise and the correct wagon weights reaching the weighbridge location in time and for the preparation of RR. So if I again tell you what exactly, so a loaded rake has to be made available at the weighbridge location as released or arrived at the weighbridge location. The weighbridge software communicates and fetches the rake wagon consist from voice into weighbridge. The rakes are weighed on the weighbridge and weights are recorded in the weighbridge software. The weight details are merged with the voice rake and weighbridge system and are then pushed to the voice server. These data is in no time pushed to the forwarding location, and based on the actual weights received from the weighbridge, the goods clerk prepares the RR and creates cases, and in case an RR is not generated. Now, what exactly do I need to do? As a voice operator, what do I need to ensure? I need to ensure that if a weighbridge is at my loading location, if I have configured that the weighbridge is just outside the weighbridge is outside the loading location, all rakes should have been reported loaded in TMS or released as loaded applicable for weighment. All rakes at originating point issued movement order are also eligible for weighment. So if you are still at the loading point and the weighbridge is also at the loading point, please ensure that you complete your operations in RMS and TMS so that the rakes can be made available to the weighbridge system. So your consent should be confirmed and all the other formalities should have been completed in RMS and TMS so that the rakes are available. In case the weighbridge is at the en route location, so it has already departed from the source station and the weighbridge is around 4-5 locations ahead, then the rakes should have been reported arrived at that location. So again, I want to mention it over here that let's say at en route station, you have 3 weighbridges of 3 vendors. All 3 vendors would be capable or would have get these rakes in their system. It's up to the user or the operator to find out whether it's the Rice Lakes weighbridge that you're working on, or whether it's the Pragatis, or whether it's a digital weighbridge that you're working on, based on the line on which you're placing the rake. All rakes should have been reported, arrived, or run through at a location, but should not have reached the next destination. So that needs to be taken care of. Once it reaches the next station, then we lose a track of it that you cannot post facto do a weighbridge. Now if he tries to fetch the rates, he will not be able to get them. So these instructions are to be looked into and followed very religiously. Now what do I test? Even though I have done everything, I have set up the things, but how and what do I need to test? How do I certify? The vendor software needs to be certified in totality. That you cannot say that, okay, I have weighed the empty rake as a dummy rake or 2 wagons and let me certify. Please don't do that. We need to certify not just the integration on a physical level, but the business workflow. Business workflow, what I mean is that the weights of the loaded rake are transferred from the weighbridge, they reach the TMS location, and RRs could be created on actual weight rather than on sender's weight. So that is the business workflow that I'm talking about that needs to be certified. That is why there are 3 departments who have been nominated to certify the whole setup before it is declared as go live. So we need an actual loaded rake undergoing weighment to be used for certification. Complete workflow of data between FOIS and weighbridge up to generation of RR needs to be verified and certified. Once all the concerned departments, that is commercial, mechanical, and finance department, have verified the setup and the process, the site should be nominated as online. Don't be in a hurry. If you don't feel that you're comfortable, don't be in a hurry to certify that all the rakes and the wagons are correct. Because once you mark them as online, then you won't be able to edit the weights in your TMS. So I'll come to that one. So this is just a reproduction of the certificate as per JPO. So it has been issued by EDME Freight, EDTCR, and EDCINS. And it says that all the 3 officers, commercial, mechanical, and financial officers, have to certify based on whatever they have tested, and it is the tamper proofing and software versions and everything has been checked. Now, what is the process, or how do we categorize a weighbridge? So once on the first configuration of any weighbridge or integration in FOIS, we say that the weighbridge is configured and testing is awaited. The minute you weigh the first rake on the weighbridge, that is, the data is transferred from your weighbridge system to the FOIS server, we say that testing is underway. So that in this case, what happens is that during this phase, goods clerk still has an option to change the weights in loading screen, even if the weights have been received from the weighbridge. So here we are asking them to verify, validate, and just to be sure that the data is correct. If they find anything incorrect, so they still have an option to edit the weights and prepare a correct R. Once everything has been certified by the 3 officers and the location has been declared as online, we mark in our database or in press that the location is an online location. Here, post that no editing on the RR of the weights is allowed. The weights as captured by the weighbridge has to be used and will be forced by the system, that the RRs will be prepared on the same way. So we have to be very careful about under testing and online. So this is the current statistics. If I talk about 304 locations that we have, this is a distribution of what exactly is the status. There are a lot of locations which are still under testing. 160 are still awaited. So they have not even though we have configured them in the system, not even a single rake has got weighed on those locations. So we need to phase up these locations and hurry up before we lose time. Now, once the weights are received from the weighbridge in the TMS screen, what happens is that we have introduced another column that shows, that is what I have marked as blue oval. You will see that this is a weight coming from the weighbridge. So this is what has to be verified by the commercial staff or the goods clerk, that this weight pertaining to or corresponding to each wagon has been correctly transferred or not. And the same weight, based on whatever weight has been received, the actual weight is also populated in the system. So once you are sure about it that yes, what the weighbridge weight is what my actual weight should be, then you can always go and update your loading screen and say that this loading is complete and the RR needs to be generated on these weights only. Now what happens when you understand or when you come to know that there needs to be a load adjustment? There has been some cases of overweighment and you have done a load adjustment. The board has given instructions that we could issue a load adjustment memo. So wherein the load adjustment memo details are fed into the system, and based on the load adjustment authority given, we allow the payments to be changed. So this is one of the ways that even if the weights are coming from an online location, you can edit it provided it's a case of a load adjustment. So TMS provides you for a menu option. You provide the load adjustment memo number and the remarks and the authority. You can always go and update the weights as per your convenience or as per the actual. We also provide a few screens in the queries within the RMS zonal and the RMS queries at the divisional level, wherein you can look into what exactly are your weighbridge locations, how they are performing, how many rakes they have weighed, and what is the weight which has been received for each rake. And up to the wagon details, whatever wagons have been loaded, what weight details were captured. I'll just try to take you for 5 minutes or 2 minutes, maybe not more than that. So here you go into the RMS zonal queries. Go to the operation control. We have a bucket. It says voice in motion weighbridge integration status. So here, if you go by the vendor weighment details, within a period, let's say from 30th to 31st, that is today, across the country, whichever weighbridges we have received any weights, it will show you the list of all the vendors and their weighbridges and the number of rakes which have been weighed between 30th and 31st. You can further drill into, let's say,
Manish, Manish, sorry to intervene. वो screen नहीं आ रहा है अभी. FY's screen is not displaying.
Screen is not
I, maybe I'll have to share again. Just let me check. Just let me wait a minute. Can you see it now, sir?
Yes, now we can see. Yes, now we can see.
Just to go back and just to tell you that I have logged into RMS zonal, gone into operation control. This is the bucket I was talking about, voice in motion weighbridge integration and vendor-wise weighment details. I just keyed in 2 days, that is 30th to 31st, just to view which all weighments have happened across the country by different vendors at different locations. So here I'm seeing that like digital is the first bucket if I look at it. So digital has done all these from the digital weighbridges located at all these locations. We have got payment. Now let me go into Fast Money DSP. There are around 5 rakes which have been weighed, and till date it has 1535. So these are the rake IDs which were weighed. This is the from and to and the weighment time. Now, if you want to check what exactly were the weights which were transferred from NKJ 1507-2020, just click on the rake ID and you will be able to see. So this portion, whatever you are seeing, is the data which we have received from the weighbridge. Till now, the TMS has not created any RR for this, so it's still awaited. The minute you create an RR, this portion of the grid would get filled in, and you will see the variation of weights as received from the weighbridge versus what the TMS goods clerk has filled. Let me try if there is another rate. Okay, perfect. So this is what we have received from a weighbridge versus this is what the TMS guy has filled. So you see some green spots are coming in between. So weighbridge, maybe the sequence of 4th wagon in the weighbridge was an empty. So it only returned me 3.2 or gross weight as 23.8. Whereas in TMS, he has edited it and filled it as 90 tons as a gross weight, effectively 69.4. So there seems to be some variation in the sequence of wagons. So if you go down, okay, see here the weighbridge is at 53rd position is saying 75 tons or 90 tons. So it seems that there is a variation in the sequence of wagons, physical versus what is reported in the system. So this is a kind of highlight the report will give you. You are able to monitor what exactly are the weights coming from the weighbridge and what is the weights which the TMS guy is filling, whether the RR has been generated, what is the chargeable weight, permissible weight, overweight, and punitive overweight. So this report gives you perfectly that data. I'll take you to second, and just to give you what exactly is the progress of weighbridges in your location, that is southeastern. What all locations have been configured in date, on what day they were configured, what is their current status, whether they are online, under testing, or still awaited. So this gives you, yellow ones are good, they are already online, so you have done all the formalities. The green ones are testing in progress and the blue ones are testing awaited. So we need to first worry about those which are testing awaited. Like this is like it was configured on March 17th, but still none of the rakes, even one rake has passed through this wave. So we need to be concerned about these locations. Okay, now I'll go back to my presentation. Another thing that you must be aware that about a month and a half back, we had released one functionality of updating your terminal profiles. And there also there is an option to fill in your associated web bridges with every loading or a location or a sighting or a good share. So we request you to kindly update this data. This data would be very valuable in the coming days when we put all the restrictions and the validations and check whether your payments are happening as per the nominated web bridges or not. So this needs to be taken care of. Now I come to a very critical thing which comes in everybody's mind is FAQs. And I've been hearing it for last 1.5 years, what kind of issues that you people have been facing, and you always give us a call or your voice office a call or our GMs a call. So I need to touch upon a few of them, and I'll be open to more such queries and try to answer whatever. The first query that everybody keeps on asking, do I really need a voice RMS or a TMS at Weybridge location? So let me clarify that, no. It's a pure no. You don't mandatorily require a voice RMS or a TMS at the Weybridge location. The communication is happening between the Weybridge and my voice server. It is not happening between your voice Weybridge PC and the nearest voice location. So it's not happening like that. So don't be in a hurry that I need a RMS or a TMS to be installed at the Weybridge location. Unless and until you need it for some other purpose, it's a loading point, or you still do need to do some operations over there for the purpose of marshalling or for any other purpose, please go ahead and do it. But it's not a prerequisite. It's not mandate. Okay. Who will provide connectivity of Weybridge to the voice application or a voice server? So as per the guidelines, it's the duty of the mechanical department of the concerned zone who shall provision the connectivity between voice POP and the Weybridge PC. Of course, the S&T department will come and play a role, but yes, as far as the guidelines or the railway board instructions go, it's the mechanical department who is responsible for doing this. Now, the vendors or the zones are very confused. Who will issue the user IDs and passwords or the credentials of the Weybridge vendor? Chris shall do that. So Chris shall be responsible for providing to the vendors directly. Only thing is that you guys need to approach through your zones or divisions to CO office. CO office is the nodal agency who will authorize Chris to configure any new location into the system or to convert an ongoing location as an online location. So we are responsible for that. Who shall pay for the Weybridge software? Again, I'm reproducing one of the minutes of the meeting, which says, and it was held in the chambers of AMC, that arrangement of funds will be done for Railway in Motion Weybridge under Plan Head 70 as a special work. And for private in motion Weybridge, it will be arranged by the party. So if there is any conflict, please take it up with concerned zones or railway board or whatever. First, that is what I have reproduced from one of the minutes. Rate details are not visible in Weybridge software. Why? So many times I get to hear that I have done everything, I have tried out everything, but still, even if the best of communication, I'm not able to get the rakes into the Weybridge system. Please check a few things. The date time filter, location code, Weybridge ID, and the credentials are correctly entered into the Weybridge system. So before you fetch the data, you have to, excuse me for the data time I have written, but it's date time. You have to check that the filters are applied properly for the location. The connectivity between the voice Weybridge system and the voice is irrelevant. It could be very much possible there is a poor connectivity and you're not able to get an HTTPS connection. So you will never be able to get the rakes into your system. The status of the rakes. Now, a rake has to be released as loaded in the system if the Weybridge is at source, or rake should have been reported arrived at the Weybridge location if the Weybridge is at en route station and should not have been reported as arrived or crossed the next station till such time these rakes are available for a vendor to fetch into their Weybridge system. Now, can I repost a payment data to voice? Many times it does happen that your first wayprint is not correct, or you will like to do a rewayment, or some wagons are left. So yes, the integration provides for an upload of multiple data sets for the same wave. However, there is an additional flag to be sent from the weighbridge as to which of these sets has to be taken as final. Please contact your vendors if they have not configured this flag. Because if it is not configured, then every weighment data will be taken as a final value. Whereas it could be that twice or thrice you have weighed it, but only the last value has to be taken as the final. Not all wagons were weighed in one cycle. Can I repeat and repost data? Yes, you can go ahead and uh, re-weigh the rake and repost the data into the FOIS system. This is acceptable to the system. Again, I'm saying wherever we get a flag as yes, we will use that value in the TMS for preparation of the sequence of wagons in FOIS does not match the actual sequence. What should I do? Go ahead. You have all the options. You have all the options or operations available in FOIS to change the sequence of wagons. FOIS operating or commercial staff need to ensure, however, you need to ensure that the sequence of wagons does match the physical marshalling before the rake is offered for weighbridge. Because you all know that the weighment or the weighbridge does not recognize any wagon number. It only is a rolling of the wheels over the weighbridge and the sequence in which they roll over. So it's the actual weighment is recorded as per the sequence. It's not the wagon number. Wagon number is only a value to my customer or to the railway. So we need to ensure that the wagon sequence of our rake is correct. And many a times it happens that you have a rake going in an opposite direction on the weighbridge. So please let me tell you that there is an option to resequence and a reverse sequence of the wagons within FOIS. Please use those options within FOIS to do a proper marshalling of the wagons and then offer the rake. And there are guidelines which have been issued by Railway Board. I have referred to them. I just go through these guidelines and it tells you what all steps have to be done, which all menu options have to be used for correcting the sequence of wagons within FOIS RMS. The wagon numbers do not match the actual wagons. Will that impact the integration? No, not at all. As I told you, wagon numbers do not play a role in the weighbridge software. They are only an added value to your wagon sequence. So even if whatever has happened, even though I would say or anybody would say, yes, our wagons number should be correct, but they are not going to hinder your weighbridge integration. If A instead of A or A dash is a wagon in your FOIS system, but the sequence of wagon is correct, the weighbridge will still give you the same weight irrespective of what the wagon number is recorded in FOIS. So please ensure that the wagon sequence is correct and try your level best to even correct the wagon numbers wherever possible. There are options available in FOIS, both RMS and TMS, that you can change the wagon numbers, but with some catch. So we can discuss that on a different day. What is the difference between testing and an online mode? So I have already explained that under testing, you can still go ahead and edit the weights before preparing the preparation of the RR. But once you have defined a weighbridge location as online, any weight transport from an online location to a forwarding location, the editing of weights is no more available to the goods clerk, unless and until, of course, there is a load adjustment memo issue. So that is the difference between an under testing and an online. Can I edit the weight in case of weights are incorrect or due to overloading detected? Yes. As far as overloading is concerned, you can issue an overloading or a load adjustment memo and continue with the editing of the weight. But in normal scenarios, if a location has been declared as online, weight has come from an online location, you are not supposed to do an editing of the weight. However, as long as the location is under testing, you can continue to edit the weights and prepare the RR as you wish to. Can I integrate a weighbridge for weighment of container weight? This question I have taken in the last because this is a very burning thing because everybody is in a hurry to integrate all the weighbridges, not realizing that your business rules or the commercials rules for a container rake are not as equal to what you have for the bulk commodity. Even though the container rake from the physical per se would get weighed, you will get the weight of a wagon and whatever is loaded onto a wagon. But can you use it for preparation of a container RR? No, because the haulage of the container rake is as per the weight of the TEUs, not as per the wagon. So even though board has not given clear instructions of not to or to integrate such weighbridge locations, but I would say that a weighbridge is a weighbridge. We should integrate it. As long as it belongs to these 8 vendors, we should integrate it. because it may be very much possible that today it is weighing a container rate. Tomorrow, for whatever reason, your bulk commodities also move on to that weighbridge for a payment. You cannot deny it. It's a weighbridge. So the data should get transferred from that weighbridge per se to the forwarding location. But if you are trying to weigh a container rate and use that data into preparation of a container ARA, it will not work. It will not work. This is because the rules and the overall system does not allow that. So you have to be very careful about what you're doing. For container, we have a different ball game. We have EDIs with container train operators and Central Board of Excise and Customs, to which we do all the data verification for exim traffic. So that will be proliferated rather than a weighbridge kind of a solution. Rather, if and CTO has integrated with CBEC and giving an EDI data, we exempt them from weighbridge. So that is what I wanted to talk about. Now I'm open to question and answers if time permits, or we can take it at a later stage or as suggests. So I am through with my thing. So this is just an extract of what was there in the 2016. Who is supposed to do what? Overall coordination is to be done by CCM FM of the Zonal Railway. The upgradation of software hardware is by the mechanical. Connectivity is to be provided by mechanical. Certification of data is by CRES, and arrangement of phones is, as I told you, under Planet 17 or for private to be arranged by the department. So that brings me to the end of my presentation. I hope I have been able to clear a few clouds from everybody's mind on weighbridge integration, which needs to be completed in next 20 days by across the country. So if you have any questions, I'm available. I'm available in the chat box. I'm available on verbal.
Hello, Manish.
Sir.
Now let Raman continue. Then we will address the questions and answer at the last.
Fine, sir. Perfectly okay with me.
Ah,
So I'll now invite Mr. Raman Arora, SP Voice, and Miss Neha Malhan, Mrs. Neha Malhan, and they will take you through the features and facilities which we have released through the smart app, which is Service Market at Rail Terminals. Over to you, Raman and Neha. Good luck.
and we will address the weighbridge integration questions in the last. So,
No,
okay.
Neha, you may please start.
Yes, thank you, Manish sir. So the agenda ahead in this webinar is to highlight the features of newly designed services in FOIS, that is SMART, Service Market at Rail Terminals, and Terminal Profile Dashboard. Now, there are various logistic services available at different rail terminals across IR. Freight customers may or may not be aware about them. So, and also service providers have no way to reach to the freight customers. The SMART has been introduced in FOIS to facilitate both the logistic providers and the freight customers. Any service provider who provide any of these four types of services, maybe it's a transportation, warehousing, labor facilities, or aggregators, can register in FOIS through the SMART. Registration is a one-time registration process. Service provider can be a company or an individual. He has to visit the nearest freight terminal, submit the application, duly signed application mentioning all the services which he will going to provide, then authenticate his identity, and then those details will be visible to the freight customers digitally through our public mobile apps, that is Rail Sugam and the FOIS web portal. And the terminal staff, it will be the responsibility of terminal staff to collect that duly signed application of the service provider, which has mentioned all the services which he is going to provide, and this registration he'll do through the TMS zonal queries. This registration task we have provided in our FOIS TMS zonal queries application under administration menu, which will be visible if the staff has logged in through the terminal. So this is the registration screen. First, the staff will mention whether the service provider is the company or the individual. Mention his name, and GST number can also be given. It's an optional field, but if service provider is giving the GST number, FOIS system is validating the same. Address has to be fed in the given format, and then the primary contact person details needed to be mentioned. The mobile number which will be mentioned here will be used for the authentication purpose, and the same is this email ID. So the next is the here staff can mention the services which that service provider is giving. The first column of this grid is having the hyperlink corresponding to each service. Suppose if staff member has to mention the warehousing service, then he'll click on this hyperlink and the corresponding input fields will get activated. Here he'll mention the facilities available and any other additional information if he want to specify regarding that facility. He can mention in this additional information field. And suppose if service provider has nominated a separate different person for that particular service, then his contact details can be mentioned over here. uh, the facilities available is the mandatory field, rest all are the optional one. So in this way the staff member will register all the services which the service provider has mentioned in his application. Now after registration, the we need he need to authenticate the service provider. So for authentication, staff member can directly go from this verify link, or he can access the verification screen from the administration menu. Now on this verification screen, that service provider come in the list provided here. Staff will select that service provider. Corresponding services which he has mentioned during the registration will appear in this grid. So to verify the service provider, staff will mention this OTP. As I told earlier, during the registration process, the mobile number and the email ID of the primary contact person will be used for the authentication purpose. So the OTP which user has received on his mobile number and on his email ID has to be filled over here. This OTP is valid for 30 minutes. In case that has been expired or the user has not received the OTP, then this resend option can also be used. Now the staff has to give this declaration that he has received the duly signed application from the service provider mentioning all the services. So after this declaration, the staff can verify the service provider. So this is the verification process. Now there may be a need even after registration to modify any of the service or to delete any of the service. So we have designed this task for that particular purpose. Again, here the list of service providers are coming. On selecting the service provider, its registered services will display here. And this first column is having an hyperlink corresponding to each service. So whatever service the user has to modify, he'll click on that particular service, transportation in this case, and the corresponding data will appear in these input fields. And user can modify uh, uh, the service as per his requirement, and same is the case with the delete facility. Now to view what all the services are available, what all the services have been registered at the terminal, there we have provided a screen. In this, user can view all the services with their companies and the contact person. So this list is there. Now we have made this registered services available to our freight customers through our public queries in our voice web portal as well as in our public mobile app, that is Rail Sugam. Mr. Raman will continue from here and he will demonstrate all those screens. Mr. Raman, please continue.
Good afternoon, everyone. Kapil, please let me share the screen. Thank you. So we have captured enough of the information regarding the service providers, the aggregators, the truckers, the warehouse, and the labels. The information has no mean unless it reaches the target recipient. So to make the information accessible to our customers, the paid customers, we have provided two channels. One is to Rails to the mobile app, and the second is to the single window voice access, that is voice web portal. I would be taking you to both the modes. Let's first start with Rails to the mobile app. As GM Foyt has already explained, that Rails to is a mobile app which offers a bouquet of features starting from booking information, freight terminals, dashboards and everything, FNR track and trace, freight rates, terminals details, restriction and everything. We have added one more feature, and that is Smart, the service market at rate terminals. The Rails Program app is the one which provides the three key features that a customer needs, that is transparency, convenience, and ease of doing business. And the Smart is another step that adds to these parameters. Smart is basically the mode through which a service provider gets connected to Railways, and also a mode through which a freight customer gets connected to a service provider. The Smart offers a dashboard for registered services, whatever the services we have registered through our TMS queries that Neha has just explained. We have a dashboard for assessing those information. Uh, the Smart is the means through which we provide end-to-end logistics, first mile, last mile connectivity. The information is captured for these parameters, aggregators, truckers, warehouse, and labels. So how this facilitates the customers, to what options we are providing this information. We have a key module which is freight calculator. Anyone who is planning to send his or her consignment over IR network has the facility to access the expected freight for moving that consignment. And whenever a particular query is being done for originating and destination point, information of logistics providers, both the points originating and destination, is available to that customer. Then we have the container rail PRT location. Then we have PFT, private freight terminals location. Then loading, unloading location. Then put each and every station profile. And through an interactive interface, we could get to know about the facilities available at different stations. I would be giving a live demonstration of these facilities. These are some of the screenshots that a customer would be seeing when he comes to the Rails on the map. The freight calculator window at the bottom most shows the terminal facilities at both originating and destination points. The sample is DDU, that is Deen Dayal Upadhyay Terminal, and the destination is Ambala Junction. So this is the summary of facilities which are available at DDU and Ambala. And in case of PFT, if he wishes to get to know about the information about private freight terminals over IR, so he has tried to get the information for Gujarat, and these are the PFT locations listed here, and the information on the facilities which are available on those locations. Then the container rail terminals, and once a particular information is drilled down, the summary brings the detail, and the details are available as the company and individual name and their address, the detail of the contact person, the key contact person, whom a person is supposed to contact, the description of available facilities, description of facilities as in case of trucks, what kinds of trucks, railers are there, long trucks are there, small trucks are there, warehouse, what kind of storage that warehouse provides. So this is a description of a particular facility. Then GST number of the provider, if you want to pay for that or you want to transact with that provider. Then we have two more additions to this information, that is companies serving at other locations. A company, say ABC Limited, is serving at New Delhi railway station. He might be serving at number of other locations over IR. So this feature provides a list of other serving locations where this company has registered for that particular service. Then near location facility. Now, the particular facility which a customer is searching for, maybe a particular kind of labor, is not available at my planned destination. So I have a facility to view the number of facilities, the detail of facilities which are available in close proximity to that particular destination, and that close proximity has tentatively been defined as up to 10 kilometers of the radius. So to this, he may plan or he may optimally plan the O2D movement. So I would like to demonstrate it live. Let's have a look at this. This is a simulator. The Rail Sugar map would be available in a mobile phone. And this, you might be seeing a smart icon at top right corner. This smart icon is a new addition to this towards ease of doing business. So this smart icon, the first window which opens is for the service providers, how information is available for service providers in this app. And the second is, uh, how to register for those services. This is basically the mode to make them informed how they can approach the terminal and get their services registered. So there is a 5-step process which is explained here, and we would be having a summary of services which have been registered over IR. Since this is an online system and we don't have data for that, we are recently launched this thing, and we are seeking the cooperation of entire Indian Railways. So here's the summary of Smart, and then the features which are available in uh, this Smart application is to freight calculator. Let's see it for Ambala to say, and here I want to move my cement from Ambala to Adarsh Nagar Delhi station. Let's see the calculation of freight. This is the expected freight this Rail Sugar map provides, and all the things, the dates and everything is there. And they, at the bottom of that, we also have added one more thing, that is terminal facilities. Facilities available at Ambala Camp, number of aggregators, truckers, warehouse, and laborers. Similarly, the facilities available for the Adarsh Nagar Delhi. So I may go to Ambala Camp and see what are the facilities available there. There is a booking profile, there is a detail. I may check the detail of aggregators, I may check the detail of truckers, warehouse, and laborers. Apart from this information, I have the facility to view the near location facilities. That is up to 10 kilometers. What are the facilities available at the terminals? So this was available in freight calculator. Then we have a private fleet terminals option also. So we could get to know about the facilities available at private freight terminals in Gujarat. This is a list of private freight terminals which are there in FOIS system. And I may get to know about the facilities available at each and every terminal. Then similarly, we have the loading and unloading terminals, CRT. May get to know about the cement loading and unloading locations in Eastern Railway, or I may search it on the basis of a state or a particular division. So there are 7 loading locations for cement in Eastern Railway and 11 unloading locations. I may get to know about the facilities available at each and every loading and unloading location. And the terminal profile. So these are all the stations which have Delhi in their name. Let's see for Delhi Azadpur. The similar kind of information is available through different modes. Whatever you search, whenever you search for a terminal, you'll get to know about the facilities available for that terminal. So this was the incorporation of smart module, smart feature in Rail Sugar mobile app. Let me go back to the previous slide. And we started offering this information with Smart, but then we realized that Smart is not the only thing. We have the POIS web portal also, which is the single window access to entire to all the customers which are accessing our information throughout India. And this is not available for customer, also for railway users. So we started working on POIS web portal also. And this is also a mean to which connects railways and freight customers and also the providers. The POIS website, POIS web portal is a single window available at www.fois.indianrail.gov.in. You might be seeing a golden smart button here. which is in the middle of the screen. This smart button offers the entire smart features which are available to this launch. The options to which this facility is available is rate calculator, the CRT location, CF location, loading and unloading location, station help, and the rail handling facility. Let's have a small demonstration of OSF portal also. We have this smart module. So this page informs the customer as well as the service provider that if you are the service provider, there are more than 8,500 freight customers and more than around 12,000 freight terminals wherein you could provide your services. So this is a way to attract service providers to come and register with Indian Railways for the various facilities, for the various expertise that you have in the domain of logistics. So this is a five-step process we just have discussed in Rail Program app. Go to your nearest freight terminal, submit a duly signed request letter, provision yourself for one or more service. One service provider may register for labor as well as for transportation. So he may have access to, may register for one or more services. Then authentication is there, and then that provider which has been registered successfully with Indian Railways can reach to our freight customers through either Rail Program app or through this FOISWeb portal. In the FOISWeb portal, this customer menu that you are seeing is dedicated to paid customers. So the entire information of the services or the facilities which are available with us is available to this inquiry mode. We have paid calculator. Let's see for the same station of fare UMB, Ambala, and Adarsh Nagar, Delhi. You want to carry coal now this time. And these are the facilities. The right part is the entire calculation of freight, expected freight for carrying coal and coke from Ambala to Adarsh Nagar, Delhi. And the middle part, at the bottommost, you are seeing that terminal facilities part, which is available, the summary of facilities which are available at Ambala as well as ANDI. So you click on this and you'll get the details. As I just told, as of now, we don't have data. This is the online system. So through this window, we can get to know about services available at both originating and destination points. Then we have different options. Let's see for loading and unloading locations of our IR. What are the food grain loading and unloading locations in Northern Railway? This is a list of locations. One is carrying bajra, one is carrying wheat, one is carrying gold, fine rice. With each location, we have the detail of where the summary of facilities which are available, and we may get the detail of those facilities. We may get to know about the companies which are offering those facilities, the type of facilities, the types of trucks, type of labor, the storage, warehouse, everything is there. And similarly, the unloading location. Then we have the rail handling facility. Let's see. So the state of Gujarat. So these are the list of locations in Gujarat, and the detail of the profile of each and every location, which commodity is applicable to be inward for that terminal, and which commodity is applicable for outward to that from that terminal. And with each terminal, we have the summary of facilities and the detail of facilities also available. So with every option, wherever user has an option to see the terminal, has an option to inquire about the terminal, the information of facilities is also available. And on the home page itself, we are attracting service providers. You might be seeing the center, the middle image, that if you are one of the above service providers, Indian Railway invites you to offer your services for these many terminals and these many places. So if a service provider comes to FOIS website, he would get attracted towards the services which he has an expertise in to get registered for their services. So this provides a strong connect between railways and the service provider, and between service provider and the paid customer, and induces a kind of trust and the confidence that railway is in the middle of this thing. So we would be having a good service provider, and I would be providing the service to a properly registered customer. So we are the channel partner, we are the middle agency. Now this was all about the smart part in Rail to the Map as well as the Voice Web portal. Now, as Manish Kumar has just discussed about, I just requested you to write to feed the information about associated Weybridge locations through a window, which we had designed a couple of months back. I would be taking to that window also, that is Freight Terminal Profile Dashboard. This we had developed this dashboard for capturing the information on various parameters. The we captured the information for private freight terminals, sidings, and goods sheds. The 69 freight terminals over IR, 1336 sidings, and 2829 goods sheds. The information which we captured were as listed below. The high mast and lighting, whether it is available at a particular terminal or not, how many lines are available, whether high-level platforms are available, whose sidings are available, what kind of handling is available at that terminal. Is it manual, mechanical, or both of them are available? Then do we have the provision to handle tank wagons in that terminal? Do we have the provision for freight charge to distant places? Do we have Weybridge or pre-Weybridge facilities over there? Then what are the associated Weybridge locations? If that is a siding, who is the owner of that siding? Is it Indian Railways or some private party? Then if this is a siding, so how much is the distance from that siding to its serving station? This information was captured for around 3,500 plus terminals, and this dashboard is available for zonal users as well as divisional users through the OS website RMS zonal queries, as well as for divisional users through RMS divisional queries. And the right side, you are seeing the view which would be available to you. Though we have captured maximum of the information, but still some terminals are still pending to be updated. And there is a dashboard, there is a small chart which shows how much is the pendency. And also some of the features we are not able to capture, maybe because that information used to belong to a commercial department, and operating user was filling that information, or the commercial department was filling that information, but the actual information was there with the operating department. So we missed some of the information, and we request all of you available here to please enter that information and complete this task. And the entry of information is also available through the same screen. And we have all the parameters I just mentioned in the previous slide, the high mast lighting, associated Weybridge, everything. And the information could be updated to this screen. And once this is complete, I think we would be able to utilize this information for the betterment of the POIS system. So thank you. This was all about POIS and profile dashboard.
Raman, it's over.
Yes, sir.
So I thank you all the participants. Approximately 322 participants were there. Then the figure dropped. I would like to mention something very urgent about the Weybridge. That board has mentioned that around 688 Weybridges are installed in the Indian railway system. But till now we have configured around 304 Weybridges. Even out of those 304, we have made online 102, and testing started on 42. So I would request Railway to move it on a faster pace, because Minister of Railway has already given a target of 1 month to integrate all these Weybridges with FOIs. So first of all, we should talk about 304, and then let us reach to the figure of 608. What are the relevant Weybridges which need to be integrated? Probably there may be Weybridges which need not be integrated, but there are Weybridges other than 304 which need to be integrated. Second issue, we are being approached by either mechanical department or divisional CMIs. But I would request, because CCM FM is the nodal agency and Weybridge is a very sensitive issue. So you have to move through your CCM FM office or the headquarter office, whoever is dealing in the headquarter. So don't come directly to us. Sometimes vendor is approaching, sometimes senior DM is approaching, sometimes senior DCM is approaching. Do approach us through headquarter, because it's a sensitive issue. The last is this e-market smart platform and the terminal profile updation. We have to go a long way in that, and it's a very powerful tool, because it is a very beautiful aggregator platform, which we only will be able to use it, and we only be able to facilitate our customer. So I would request senior DCMs should ensure that right kind of data is being fed in the system, and then it will become such a beautiful facilitator tool that your customer need not run here and there, and they can directly check everything online. Probably in the future, it has a very strong future. In the future, we can arrange a common paying platform also, that a customer pays at one place and the payments are distributed among the different service providers. So kindly work on that, because it has got a very strong demand from the customer field. And I must thank Christine, especially Neeraj Verma sir, who has asked Manish, Meenu, and Raman Arora to make this presentation, and it will be very fruitful. I would request CCM FMs, if they are available, and senior DCMs to go on this integration spree of Weybridge at a very faster pace, because MR has already given a target of 1 month, and I think we have to increase our pace for that. Thank you, sir. Sir, Dio Saab is also available if he wants to mention something. Hello?
Ravi, no, you can just carry on.
Okay, sir. Neeraj Verma, sir?
Thank you, Ravi. It was a very timely presentation, and it was something which the field people also needed to know. So, for organizing this, your office has been very, very good and active and proactive in all this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.